take a look at this image and it looks pretty good, but if we zoom in you will see that there are some imperfections. Now these are called hot pixels and they can spoil an image, but there's something built into most cameras that can fix this. It's called long exposure noise reduction, and that's the topic of this week's video. So if you want to find out more, keep watching. Welcome to the Photo Genius channel. Hi, Paul here from Photo Genius. Welcome to my channel where I share regular photography tutorials, all designed to help you get more from your digital camera so you can take better photos. If you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing. Now this week I want to talk about a camera function called long exposure noise reduction. I want to talk about what it is, what it does, and how to set it up in camera. Now this will be of particular interest if you like taking photos in low light, or maybe you like doing nighttime photography. Now for anyone who's unfamiliar with the term long exposure, I think this is the ideal place to start. Alongside aperture and ISO, adjusting the shutter within the camera is one way in which we can control how bright or dark our images will be. This is called exposure, with a dark image being underexposed and a bright image being overexposed. Now a correct exposure is often referred to as a balanced exposure. Whilst during the day we typically use fast shutter speeds, as the sun begins to set we can adjust the shutter so it is open for longer, allowing the sensor more time to record light. This is of course called slowing the shutter down. So for night photography with significantly less light available, we will want the shutter to be open much longer, hence the term long exposure photography. And for this image I set the shutter speed to 30 seconds. Now the camera's sensor will have a tendency to warm up when it's in use, and it's in use when the shutter is open and the camera is recording an image. So with long exposure photography, the sensor can sometimes overheat. Now this is often the cause of things such as hot pixels, banding, and sometimes digital noise. Now if you want, this can all be corrected in camera using long exposure noise reduction, but how does it actually work? Well, it works by the camera taking two images, the first being the actual image and the second being what is called a dark frame. So to capture a vibrant shot of the Story Bridge in Brisbane, I chose to use a shutter speed of 30 seconds. Once done, the long exposure noise reduction begins, which takes a further 30 seconds. So of course that's a total wait time of 1 minute. Once completed, the dark frame highlights the imperfections caused as a result of the sensor heating up. And using this information, the camera will then remove any unwanted hot pixels or imperfections from the original image. To set long exposure noise reduction on a Nikon camera, press the menu button and you will typically find it in the shooting menu under noise reduction. On this Canon DSLR you will find it located under custom functions, but if you have a mirrorless camera this is more likely going to be found under the main camera settings. And Fujifilm users, press menu and you will find it in the IQ or image quality submenu. So long exposure noise reduction is a great feature, but we need to look at the negatives as well as the positives. As I mentioned already, the time it takes for the camera to perform the noise reduction is equal to the shutter speed. So a 10-second exposure means another 10-second wait for the camera to fix the image. And that's 20 seconds in total, of course. So if you're doing a really long exposure, let's say 30 seconds, total wait time before you can take another image is 1 minute. And that can cost you valuable shooting time. Now time may not be a major issue when photographing landscapes, but if you're taking photos of a firework display, for example, where you want to try and capture as many images as possible, remember with long exposure noise reduction turned on, your shooting time is effectively halved. Now I've made a few videos about low light and nighttime photography. If you want to check these out next, you'll find links at the end of this video. So long exposure noise reduction can be a great tool and a great asset to help improve the quality of your long exposure images. It's easy to set up and it could save you time in editing and post-processing. The only real downside, if you like, is the wait time and some additional battery drain. Other than that, it's pretty neat. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this week's video. If you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up because it really does help the channel grow and help the videos get noticed. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. And that's about it, other than to say thanks again for watching and I hope to see you again sometime soon. See ya. Bye.